Have you ever stopped to think that perhaps your life is about to change completely? What if I told you that right now, at this very moment as you listen to me, God is preparing 13 powerful changes especially for you, a Gemini? It's no coincidence that you've arrived here today. The universe doesn't work by chance, my dear. Every click, every choice that brought you to this video was guided by a greater force that knows exactly what you need to hear. And I'm going to tell you something very serious. These 13 changes that are coming are not small. They aren't simple adjustments to your routine. We're talking about transformations that will shake the structure of your life, your relationships, your money, your health, your inner peace. These are changes that God Himself is orchestrating behind the scenes of your existence. And you know what's most impressive? Many of these changes have already begun. You may not have noticed yet, but the signs are already appearing. That strange feeling that something big is coming? Those different dreams you've been having? That restlessness in your chest that won't leave you in peace? All of this is part of the process. God is preparing you from within before transforming your exterior. And I need to warn you about something very important. If you don't pay attention to these changes, if you don't prepare yourself to receive them, you may miss unique opportunities that won't come back anytime soon. The right time is now. The door is opening now. And you need to be ready. You need to be ready to walk through that door when it swings open in front of you. So stay with me until the end of this video, because each of these 13 changes will be revealed in detail, and you will understand exactly what to do to make the most of this divine moment that is coming into your life. First change, communication that will transform into power. Geminis, the time has come to talk about something that is at the core of your essence. You were born with the gift of words, with the ability to express yourselves in ways that few signs can. But I need to tell you a truth. For a long time you may have used this gift halfway. You may have wasted your communication skills in empty conversations, in discussions that led nowhere, in relationships where your voice was not truly heard. But that is changing now. God is preparing a profound transformation in the way you communicate with the world. And I'm not just talking about speaking better or being more convincing. I'm talking about something much deeper and more powerful. Your communication will become a tool for healing. Yes, you read that right. The words that come out of your mouth will begin to have a different weight, a different energy. When you speak, people will feel something moving inside them. Your conversations will cease to be superficial and will begin to touch the soul of the person on the other side. This is happening because God is working on your throat, your communication chakra, unlocking old traumas that prevented your voice from shining to its full potential. How many times were you silenced in childhood? How many times were you told that your opinion didn't matter? How many times did you swallow words that needed to be said? All of this created energetic blockages that are now being removed. And there's more. This transformation in your communication will open professional doors you never imagined. Job opportunities linked to your voice, your writing, your ability to teach and transmit knowledge will begin to appear. It could be an invitation to give lectures, to write, to teach, to lead groups. Your word will become your greatest asset. People will start seeking you out not only for your company, but for what you have to say. And this is not ego, it's not vanity. It's simply you occupying the place that has always been yours by divine right. But with this power comes responsibility. You will need to learn to use your words more consciously, more carefully, because now they will have the power to build or destroy, to heal or wound. And God is giving you this strength because He trusts that you will use it wisely. So pay attention to the opportunities that involve your communication. That course you thought about taking? That content creation project? That desire to share your story? Don't ignore these impulses. They are God pushing you in the right direction. Your voice is about to reach people you don't even know yet, but who desperately need to hear exactly what you have to say. Second change, relationships that will be renewed or ended. Now let's talk about a change that may be painful, but is absolutely necessary. Your relationships are going through a great divine filter. And when I say relationships, I mean everything: friendships, romantic partnerships, family relationships, work colleagues. Everything is being weighed. God is weighing every connection you maintain and separating what is true from what is false, what lifts you up from what pulls you down, what strengthens you from what weakens you. And you must already be feeling this happening. You may have noticed that some people have simply started to drift away from your life without apparent explanation. Or you yourself have started to feel enormous discomfort in the presence of people you previously considered close. This is not malice on your part. It's not you becoming annoying or difficult. It's your energy vibrating at a different frequency now. It's your soul recognizing that certain companions no longer match who you are becoming. And some people will leave your life smoothly, naturally, almost imperceptibly. But some people will leave with noise, with conflict, with resentment. And however much it hurts, you need to let go. Because every person who leaves is making room for someone better to enter. It's freeing up a space that will be filled by someone who truly deserves to be by your side. God knows exactly who needs to stay and who needs to leave. And He is doing this cleansing with surgical precision. But it's not just about losing people. It's also about renewing relationships that have real value. That person you drifted apart from years ago, you might reconnect now in a completely new and more mature way. That family member you've always had conflicts with, a deep healing might happen between you. That old love that never had a chance to blossom, the right time might come now. God is rearranging the pieces on the chessboard of your social and emotional life. And in the midst of all this, the most important change in relationships is the one that will happen between you and yourself. Because Geminis tend to be so focused on others, so worried about pleasing, adapting, being what others expect, that they end up getting lost in the process. But now God is teaching you to put yourself first, to respect your own limits, to say no without guilt, to choose your peace above the approval of others. And when you learn this lesson, when you truly understand that you don't need to mold yourself to fit into anyone's life, then you will attract the right relationships, the right people, those who love you exactly as you are, with your dualities, your complexities, your constant changes. So don't be afraid of this cleansing that is happening. Don't cling to what is leaving. Trust that God knows what He is doing. And get ready to meet incredible people who will enter your life in the coming months. People who will truly understand you, who will value your essence, who will walk beside you without trying to hold you back or control you. If this message resonated with your zodiac sign, trust me, it's no coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal, and you're here because you needed to hear this today. Your contribution as a subscriber or member is what keeps these messages alive. Messages that touch, awaken, and transform lives. And if this video made sense to you, leave your birth date in the comments. Let's continue with our video now. Third change, the mental healing that will bring clarity. Geminis, you need to listen to this very carefully, because this change may be the most liberating of all. God is promoting a profound healing in your mind. And I know you understand very well what I'm talking about. This whirlwind of thoughts that never stops. These 1,000 ideas arising at the same time. This anxiety that tightens your chest when you have to make a decision. This difficulty in switching off your mind even when your body is asking for rest. All of this is connected to the way your mind works, always at high speed, always processing information, always seeking novelty. And for a long time you may have thought this was a flaw, a curse, a problem that needed fixing. But the truth is that your agile mind is a divine gift. The problem is not the speed at which you think, but the lack of direction that this speed has had until now. It's like having a powerful car without knowing exactly where to drive. And this has led you to the wrong places, made you make hasty decisions, left you mentally exhausted without producing the results you deserved. But now God is bringing order to this mental chaos. He is teaching you to use your mind as a powerful tool, not as a prison. And this healing is happening in several ways. First, you will begin to have more clarity about what really matters. Those silly worries that occupied so much space in your head will simply disappear. You will look back and wonder how you wasted so much time worrying about such small things. Second, you will develop the ability to focus. Yes, you who have always been scattered, who started 1,000 things and finished none, will learn to direct your mental energy to what truly deserves your attention. And when you learn to focus, you will be surprised by your own capacity for achievement. Third, you will learn to silence your mind. Meditation will no longer be an impossible torture. You will discover techniques that work for you, that respect your restless nature, but give you that mental rest you so desperately need. And here's a secret. God will put the right tools for this healing in your path. It could be a book, a video, a person, a spiritual practice. Pay attention to the signs. When something related to mental health, meditation, or self-knowledge catches your attention, don't ignore it. It's the universe showing you the way. This mental healing will also help you make better decisions. You who have always suffered from duality, always divided between two options, always afraid of choosing wrong, will begin to trust your intuition more. You will understand that there is no perfect choice. but that there is the right choice for this moment in your life. And when you stop seeking perfection and start seeking alignment, decisions become much easier. And there's one more important thing in this mental healing. You will stop demanding so much of yourself. You will understand that your changeable nature is not weakness, it's flexibility. You will accept that you don't need to be constant to be reliable. You will forgive yourself for all those times you changed your mind, changed direction, started over from scratch. Because all of that was part of the process of finding yourself. And now that this healing is happening, you will realize that all that mental confusion was just your soul trying to show you that you were on the wrong path, in the wrong environments with the wrong people. And now that you are aligning yourself with your true purpose, your mind will finally find peace. Fourth change, financial prosperity arriving through unexpected ways. Let's talk now about a change you've probably been waiting for a long time: money. But not just any money. I'm not talking about the kind of money that comes and goes, that you receive and immediately have to pay bills. I'm talking about real prosperity, abundance that settles into your life and takes root. God is opening financial channels for you that were completely blocked until now. And the most interesting thing is that this money will arrive through paths you never imagined. It won't necessarily be a raise at your current job or an expected promotion. It could be a brilliant idea that will turn into a business. It could be a talent you had forgotten that someone will want to pay you to use. It could be an unexpected inheritance, an opportunity that falls from the sky, a side project that will take off. The universe has mysterious ways of making money reach you. But there's a condition. You need to be open to receiving it through these different paths. Because many people miss financial opportunities simply because they expect money to always come from the same place in the same way. And Geminis have a huge advantage here. You are versatile, adaptable, and able to learn new things quickly. This means you have more doors open than most other signs. If one door closes, you can open 2 or 3 in its place. And God knows this. That's why He is multiplying the opportunities before you. But you need to act. It's no use waiting for money to fall from the sky without you doing your part. God's part is to create the opportunities. Your part is to recognize them and have the courage to seize them. That course you thought about taking but found too expensive? It could be the investment that will multiply your income tenfold. That crazy idea that crossed your mind? It could be exactly what the market needs right now. That skill you have but never took seriously? It could be your biggest source of income in the coming years. And there's one thing you need to understand about money. It's energy. And energy needs to circulate. If you hold on to it too much, it will stagnate. If you spend unconsciously, you will waste it. The secret is to find balance. Receive with gratitude, use wisely, invest intelligently, share generously. And God is teaching you exactly that now. You'll realize that when you give, you receive back multiplied. Not by magic, but because giving opens your heart to receive. Creating abundance in the lives of others creates abundance in your own life. This is a universal law that always works. So don't be afraid to be generous, to help those in need, to give that bigger tip, to contribute to causes that make sense to you. This isn't throwing money away. It's planting seeds that will germinate at the right time. And another important thing. Stop comparing yourself financially to others. Everyone has their own time, their own pace, their own process. The fact that someone has already achieved something you're still seeking doesn't mean you're behind. It just means your path is different. And often the longer path is the one that brings the most lasting rewards. God isn't forgetting you. He's just preparing you to manage a greater prosperity than you could handle before. So take advantage of this preparation time. Learn about money, about investments, about how to manage resources. Because when abundance arrives, and it will arrive, you need to be ready so you don't let it slip through your fingers like sand. Fifth change, physical health strengthening from the inside out. Now I need to talk about something many Geminis neglect, the body. You live so much in your head, so connected to the world of ideas and words, that sometimes you forget you have a physical body that needs care. But that's changing now. God is calling you to look at your health in a more serious, more loving, more conscious way. And I'm not talking about aesthetics, I'm not talking about fitting into standards. I'm talking about vitality, energy, feeling good in your own skin. Your body has been giving you signals for a long time. That tiredness that doesn't go away even after sleeping. Those pains that appear out of nowhere. That feeling of always being on the edge, always exhausted. All of this is your body asking for attention, asking for care, asking for love. And now you will finally listen to these requests. You will understand that taking care of your body is not vanity. It's a spiritual responsibility. Because your body is the temple of your soul. It's the tool you have to fulfill your purpose in this life. And if that temple is in ruins, how will you be able to do everything you came here to do? God is giving you willpower that you didn't have before. That desire to exercise, to eat better, to take care of your health, isn't just a phase. It's a divine calling. It's your spirit pushing you towards self-care. And you'll realize that when you take care of your body, everything in your life improves. You have more energy to work, more patience to deal with people, more mental clarity to make decisions, more willingness to enjoy life. And the change in your health won't just be physical. It will be energetic too. You'll start to feel when your energy is low, and you'll learn to protect yourself, to distance yourself from environments and people that drain your vitality. You'll understand that you don't need to be available to everyone all the time. That saying no to others is sometimes saying yes to yourself. That preserving your energy is an act of self-love, not selfishness. And there are specific changes coming in the area of health that you need to be aware of. You might discover a food intolerance that has been causing you problems for years. You might finally find the right doctor, the one who will truly listen to you and help you. You might be interested in alternative healing practices that will complement conventional treatments. God is opening your eyes to all the healing possibilities that exist. So don't limit yourself. Explore, research, experiment. Your body deserves all the investment you can make in it. And when I say investment, I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about time, attention, and care. It's dedicating half an hour a day to moving. It's choosing foods that truly nourish. It's sleeping the necessary hours even when your mind wants to stay awake thinking about 1,000 things. It's drinking enough water. It's breathing consciously. These are the simple things that most people ignore, but that make all the difference when practiced consistently. And you will realize that your body responds quickly to care. Because Geminis have an impressive capacity for regeneration. You adapt, renew yourselves, and recover with a speed that other signs envy. So don't think it's too late to start. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how long you've neglected your health. The important thing is to start now. Today. This moment. Because every day of self-care is an investment in your future. It's more time of quality life. It's more energy to achieve your dreams. 6th change. A spiritual awakening that will change your perception. The time has come to talk about something profound, something that will stir the essence of who you are. A spiritual awakening is happening within you. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about following specific doctrines or rituals. I'm talking about a real and personal connection with the divine. I'm talking about you finally understanding that you are not alone on this journey, that there is a greater force guiding you, protecting you, loving you unconditionally. And this awakening is happening because you are ready, because you have lived enough, suffered enough, learned enough to be able to see beyond the material world. To understand that there is much more between heaven and earth than your rational mind can explain. And Geminis have a special difficulty with this, because you live in the realm of logic, reason, and scientific explanation. But now God is showing you that some things cannot be explained, they can only be felt. You will begin to notice signs that previously went unnoticed. Repeated numbers, impossible coincidences, dreams that come true, intuitions that are confirmed. All of this is God's way of showing you that He is present, that He is listening to you, that He is answering your prayers even when you think you are not being heard. And this awakening will bring practical changes to your life. You will begin to make decisions based on intuition, not just logic. You will learn to trust your hunches. You will understand that there is a wisdom within you that goes far beyond what you have learned in books or from other people. An ancestral, divine wisdom that has been engraved in your soul since before you were born. And with this awakening comes a responsibility, because the more you awaken, the more you realize that you are here for a reason, that your life has a greater purpose than just surviving, accumulating things, seeking fleeting pleasures. You are here to make a difference, to touch lives, to be a light on the path of others. And this may seem heavy, it may seem like a very heavy burden, but in truth it is liberating. Because when you understand your purpose, everything makes sense. All past suffering gains meaning. All difficulties reveal themselves as preparation. Everything fits together like pieces of a divine puzzle. This awakening will also make you question many things you believed before. Relationships that seemed solid will be revealed as superficial. Goals that seemed important will lose their meaning. And that's normal, it's part of the process. You are evolving, your consciousness is expanding, and not everything that fit into the old version of you will fit into the new version. And don't be afraid of this transformation. Don't try to hold on to the old for fear of the new. Trust that God is not taking you anywhere you are not prepared to go. Each step of this spiritual journey is calculated, thought out, perfectly aligned with your current life stage. You will also realize that you have spiritual gifts that were dormant. It could be energy sensitivity, healing ability, mediumship, or clairvoyance. And you don't need to be afraid of that. These gifts are not meant to scare you. They are meant to serve you. They are tools that God gave you to fulfill your mission in this life. So if you start to realize that you feel things that other people don't feel, that you see things that others don't see, that you know things without being able to explain how you know them, don't think you're going crazy. You're just awakening. You're simply returning to who you always were before the world taught you to disbelieve in yourself. And this awakening will give you a peace you've never felt before. A certainty that everything will be all right, not necessarily in the way you planned, but in the way it needs to be. A confidence that you are being cared for, protected, guided at every moment. And that, my dear, is worth more than any material achievement you could attain. 7th shift. Creativity exploding in all directions. Now let's talk about something that's in the DNA of every Gemini. Creativity. But not just any creativity. I'm talking about a creative explosion like you've never experienced before. Ideas will sprout in your mind like flowers in spring. Projects you didn't even know you wanted to do will start calling to you. Solutions to old problems will suddenly appear out of nowhere while you're showering or driving. Because God is opening creative channels that have been clogged for a long time. He is removing blockages, healing traumas related to your creative expression, giving you permission to create without fear of judgment. And many Geminis carry deep wounds related to creativity. Maybe in childhood you were told that drawing was a waste of time. Maybe they mocked a story you wrote. Maybe they criticized an idea you had. And all of this created layers of protection, self-censorship, and fear of fully expressing yourself. But now these layers are falling away. And what is emerging is a more authentic, courageous, and freer version of yourself, free to create without worrying about what others will think. Because you're understanding a fundamental truth. Creating isn't about pleasing others, it's about expressing your soul. And your soul is urgently demanding expression right now. It's asking you to stop keeping everything inside, to stop just consuming other people's content and start producing your own. And this creativity can manifest in 1,000 different ways. It can be art, it can be writing, it can be music, it can be dance, it can be cooking, it can be decorating, it can be fashion. It can be anything that allows you to put your personal mark on the world. The important thing isn't the medium, it's the expression. It's you saying through your creation, I exist, I matter, I have something unique to offer. And here's a powerful secret. Your creativity can become your source of income. In fact, this is one of the changes God is preparing, transforming your creative talent into financial abundance. Because there's a huge market of people looking for exactly what you have to offer. People who will connect with your unique way of seeing and expressing the world. So don't underestimate the value of what you create. Don't give your talent away for crumbs thinking it's not good enough. You are enough. Your work is valuable. And the right people will recognize that and want to pay for it. But even if you don't turn your creativity into a profession, the simple act of creating will bring so many benefits to your life that it's worth every minute invested in it. Creating is therapeutic. It's a way to process emotions, to give vent to feelings that can't be put into words. It's a form of meditation, of being present in the moment, of silencing that racing mind that won't give you peace. And God knows you need that. You need a healthy outlet for all that mental energy that sometimes consumes you. And creativity is that outlet. So if you felt the urge to create something, don't ignore it. Buy that paint, that notebook, that instrument. Take that class, start that project, take that idea out of the drawer. Don't wait to be ready, don't wait to have time, don't wait to have money. Start with what you have where you are now. Because perfection is the enemy of creation. And you'll discover that the more you create, the more ideas appear. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And there's another aspect of this creative shift that's important to mention. You'll start seeing creative solutions to practical problems in your life. That complicated situation at work? You'll have a brilliant idea to solve it. That family conflict? You'll find a different approach that no one had thought of. That financial difficulty? You'll have an insight into how to generate income in a way that no one expected. Because creativity isn't just for art. It's a way of thinking, a way of living, a way of navigating the world. And when you develop your creative side, you become more adaptable, more resilient, more capable of facing any challenge that life puts in your path. 8th change, courage to leave your comfort zone. Let's talk now about something that might be a little scary, but is absolutely essential. God is giving you courage. Courage to do what you're afraid to do. Courage to let go of what no longer serves you. Courage to pursue what your heart truly desires. And Geminis, despite appearing fearless on the outside, carry many fears inside. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being rejected, fear of disappointing, fear of being trapped, fear of losing freedom. And these fears have kept you in a comfort zone that isn't actually comfortable. It's just familiar. It's that place where you suffer, but at least it's a known suffering. Where you're not happy, but at least you know what to expect. And God is showing you that you weren't born to live in lukewarmness, in mediocrity, in the middle ground. You were born to live intensely, to experience, to explore, to discover. And that requires courage. It requires you to take steps even when you're not sure where you're going to step. And that courage is coming now. You'll notice you're doing things that used to paralyze you with fear. You'll have difficult conversations you've been avoiding for years. You'll make decisions you've been postponing because of insecurity. You'll take risks in situations where the outcome is uncertain. And every time you do that, every time you choose courage over fear, you're building a stronger version of yourself. You're proving to your own soul that you are capable, that you can do it, that you deserve it. And there's something interesting about courage. It doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means acting despite fear. It means feeling butterflies in your stomach and moving forward anyway. Because fear will never completely disappear. It will always be there, whispering reasons not to do it, not to try, not to risk it. But courage gives you the ability to hear that whisper and do the opposite. And God is pushing you out of your comfort zone in many ways. It could be through an opportunity that appears out of nowhere, and that you have to quickly decide whether to accept or not. It could be through a situation that becomes unsustainable and forces you to change. It might be through a desire so strong that you can no longer ignore it, even if the path seems impossible. And you will need to trust. Trust that if God is calling you to something new, He has already prepared everything you will need to succeed on this new path. Trust that you are not being led to failure but to victory. That each new challenge comes with new abilities that you will discover within yourself. And look, there will be times when you will want to give up. Moments when the old comfort zone will seem much more attractive than the unknown path ahead. And in those moments you need to remember why you left it. You need to reconnect with your dreams, with your goals, with the vision that God placed in your heart. Because the temporary discomfort of change is infinitely better than the permanent discomfort of living a life that is not truly yours. And this new courage will not only appear in big decisions, it will also appear in the small ones, in everyday life, in having the courage to be yourself, even when everyone around you expects you to be something else, in having the courage to express your opinion, even when it is unpopular. It's about having the courage to set boundaries, even when it might upset someone. It's about having the courage to dream big, even when current circumstances are small, because courage can be trained. And the more you practice in small situations, the more prepared you are for big situations. And God knows this. That's why He's giving you daily opportunities to exercise your courage, to strengthen that muscle, to prove to yourself that you are much braver than you imagined. So when fear appears, and it will appear, don't let it paralyze you. Take a deep breath, remember that God is with you, and take the next step. Just the next step. You don't need to see the whole staircase, you just need to climb the step in front of you. And when you climb that one, the next one will appear. And that's how you build your new life, one act of courage at a time. 9th change, balance between giving and receiving finally arriving. Now I need to talk about something Geminis urgently need to hear. God is teaching you about balance, especially the balance between giving and receiving. And you know very well what I'm talking about. How many times have you given yourself completely to someone and received nothing in return? How many times have you been the friend who was always available, always helping, always listening, but when you needed them, there was no one there? How many times have you given your best at work, in your family, in your relationships, and been treated as if it wasn't enough? This happens because you haven't yet learned the sacred art of receiving. You are good at giving, perhaps even too good. But when it comes to receiving, you feel uncomfortable, guilty, unworthy. And this creates a huge energetic imbalance that is harming you in ways you can't even imagine. Because when you block the ability to receive, you are telling the universe that you don't deserve abundance, that you don't deserve love, that you don't deserve care. And God is working to correct this now. He is showing you that you deserve to receive as much as you give. That it is not selfish to accept help, to accept gifts, to accept love, to accept abundance. The natural cycle of life is giving and receiving, in a constant and balanced flow. And when you block a part of that cycle, everything stagnates. You'll start noticing people offering you things, and you'll have to fight the urge to refuse. You'll have to take a deep breath and say yes. Yes, I accept your help. Yes, I receive this gift. Yes, I deserve this care. And every time you do that, every time you allow yourself to receive, you are opening the floodgates of abundance in your life. Because the universe won't keep sending if you always give back. It doesn't make sense. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. But this balance isn't just about receiving more. It's also about giving better. Giving wisely, not compulsively. Giving where your help is valued, not where it's wasted. Giving when you have plenty, not when you're emptying yourself to fill others. And this is difficult for Geminis because you have a generous heart, a genuine desire to help, to make a difference. But you need to understand that you can't save everyone. You can't be everything to everyone. You can't sacrifice yourself until there's nothing left of you, because then you serve neither yourself nor others. God is teaching you to give within healthy limits, to say no when necessary, to prioritize your own well-being before trying to take care of others. Because you can't give what you don't have. You can't offer peace if you're in chaos. You can't offer love if you're empty. So first you fill yourself up, first you take care of yourself, first you love yourself. And then, from what overflows, you give to others. And then your giving has power, substance, and truth. And you will realize something wonderful when you start living in this balance. The right people will appear. The people who value what you offer. The people who reciprocate, who create two-way relationships. And the people who only wanted to drain your energy, who only appeared when they needed something, those will naturally drift away. Because they will realize they can no longer manipulate you. They can no longer make you feel guilty for not sacrificing for them. And that's good. Let them go. They are not yours. Your calling is not to be anyone's crutch. Your calling is to be light, and light doesn't go out so that others can shine. Light attracts other light bearers, and together you shine even brighter. So learn to receive. Learn to accept compliments without diminishing yourself. Learn to accept help without feeling like a burden. Learn to accept love without questioning whether you deserve it. Because you deserve it. God wouldn't have created you if you didn't deserve all the good that life can offer. And when you finally believe this, when you finally allow yourself to fully receive, you will see your life transform in ways you can't even imagine now. Abundance in all areas. Balanced relationships. Vital energy. Inner peace. All this comes when you learn the sacred balance between giving and receiving. 10th change. Liberation from old patterns that limited you. The time has come to talk about liberation. Liberation from patterns you've carried for years, maybe decades, perhaps since childhood. Behavioral patterns that aren't truly yours, but that you learned believing you needed to be that way to be loved, accepted, valued. And God is breaking those chains now. He's showing you that you don't need to follow the script they wrote for you. That you can rewrite your story starting today. And these limiting patterns appear in every area of your life. At work, always accepting less than you deserve because you were taught to be grateful for having a job. In relationships, always adapting to others because you were taught that love is sacrifice. With money, always struggling because you were taught that money is hard to get and even harder to keep. And all these teachings, all these beliefs were planted in you when you were too young to question. When you believed everything the adults said. When you thought they knew everything. But now you're grown up. And it's time to examine these beliefs one by one and decide if they still make sense, if they still serve you, if they are still true, or if they were only true for those who taught them to you. And God is giving you clarity to make this assessment, to identify what is truly yours and what you are carrying that belongs to other people. And you will discover that you are carrying a lot of weight that is not yours. Expectations from parents who wanted you to be something you are not. Judgments from a society that doesn't understand your complex nature. Limitations from people who projected their own insecurities onto you. And all of this can be left behind. It can be laid at the foot of the altar and left there, because you don't need it anymore. You are ready to fly without these weights. And this liberation will happen in stages. First comes awareness. You perceive the pattern. You see it happening. You recognize that it is no longer useful. Then comes the decision. You choose not to follow that pattern this time. You choose to act differently even if it is uncomfortable, even if it is scary. And finally comes repetition. You practice the new behavior until it becomes natural, until it completely replaces the old pattern. And this process isn't linear. You'll have relapses. There will be days when you revert to the old pattern because it's more familiar, because it's easier, because you're tired of fighting. And that's okay. It's part of it. The important thing is not to give up. It's to get up the next day and try again. And with each attempt you become stronger, more aware, freer. And there are some specific patterns that many Geminis share and that God is working to break now. The pattern of scatterbrained behavior, of starting 1,000 things and finishing none. The pattern of superficiality, of keeping everyone at a distance so as not to get hurt. The pattern of inconstancy, of constantly changing your mind because you're afraid of making the wrong choice. The pattern of lying or omitting to avoid conflict. These patterns were useful at some point in your life. They were survival mechanisms that helped you get through difficult situations. But now they no longer protect you, they limit you. They prevent you from going deeper, from putting down roots, from experiencing life in all its intensity. And God is freeing you from all of that. He's showing you that you can be focused when something truly matters. That you can create true intimacy when you trust the right person. That you can be faithful to a decision when it aligns with your purpose. That you can be honest, completely honest, when you're in safe environments with people who deserve your truth. And as you free yourself from these patterns, you'll notice that your life becomes lighter, more fluid, more truly yours. You're no longer wasting energy pretending to be someone you're not. You're no longer contorting yourself to fit into boxes that are too small for your soul. You are simply being. And being is the most powerful state that exists. It's when you are in complete alignment with your essence. And in that state, everything conspires in your favor. The right opportunities appear. The right people come closer. The necessary resources manifest. Because you are no longer blocking the flow of life with limiting patterns. You are open, receptive, available to all the good that the universe wants to give you. 11th change. Reconnecting with your family and your roots. Now let's talk about something you might not have expected. God is promoting a reconnection with your family and your roots. And this may seem strange, especially if you have a complicated relationship with your family, if you've spent years trying to distance yourself, if you've built your life away from these people. But understand that this reconnection doesn't necessarily mean going back to having the same relationships as before. It means making peace with your history, with your origins, with the people who brought you here. And many Geminis have deep family wounds. Feelings of not being understood, of being judged, of being forced to be something you weren't. And these wounds accompany you, affecting you in all other relationships in your life. Because the way you first learned to relate was within your family. And if there you learned that it wasn't safe to be yourself, that your way was wrong, that you were too much or too little, you carry that everywhere else. And God knows that you need to heal these wounds to be able to move forward fully. Not to remain stuck in the past, but precisely to free yourself from it. To be able to look back without pain, without anger, without resentment. And this healing can happen in many ways. It can be through difficult conversations that finally take place. Conversations where you let out everything you've always swallowed. Where you speak your truth even if it hurts the person listening. Where you establish boundaries you never managed to establish before. And these conversations will require a lot of courage. Because confronting family is one of the hardest things there is. But it's also one of the most liberating. Because when you finally say what needs to be said, when you finally take a stand, when you finally put yourself first, something changes inside you. You recover a piece of your soul that you had left there, in that family system that didn't fit you. But this reconnection can also happen in a more subtle way. It can be through you beginning to understand the wounds of your parents, your grandparents, to see that they did the best they could with what they had, with what they knew, with the wounds they carried. And this doesn't justify their mistakes, it doesn't erase the pain they caused. But it helps you to forgive. And forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. Because while you carry anger, resentment, bitterness, you're trapped. You're wasting energy keeping those emotions alive. And when you forgive, you free yourself. You recover all that energy that was invested in keeping the pain alive, and you can use it to build new things, beautiful things, things that truly matter. And there's another aspect of this reconnection that's important to mention. God is calling you to honor your roots, to value where you came from, to understand that everything you are today, including your strength, your resilience, your adaptability, came from the experiences you lived through, including the difficult ones, including the painful ones, because you don't become a diamond without pressure. And your family, with all its flaws and imperfections, provided you with the necessary pressure to transform you into the jewel you are today. So look back with gratitude. Not gratitude for the pain, but gratitude for the transformation that the pain made possible. And this reconnection can bring wonderful surprises too. You might discover stories about your family that you never knew. Talents passed down through generations that now resonate with you. Traditions that had been lost and that you can revive. Connections with ancestors that guide you even without you knowing it. Because you are not here by chance. You are the result of a long lineage of people who survived, who fought, who loved, who dreamed. And their blood runs in your veins. And it carries wisdom, it carries strength. It carries blessings that you can access when you consciously reconnect with your roots. So don't despise your history. Don't try to erase your past. Integrate it, honor it, and then use it as a solid foundation to build the incredible future that God has prepared for you. 12th change. Closing cycles and preparing for the new. We're almost at the end, and I need to talk about something essential. Cycles are closing in your life. And when I say cycles, I'm talking about entire phases, complete chapters that are coming to an end. And you feel it, don't you? That feeling of completion, of finishing something big, even if you can't exactly explain what it is. It's because God is ending everything that needed to be experienced in this phase so that you can begin a completely new phase. And closing cycles is painful. Even when the cycle was bad, even when you suffered, even when you prayed for it to end, when it finally ends you feel a void. Because it was familiar. You knew how to navigate those waters, even if they were turbulent. And now you're going into the unknown. Into waters you've never sailed before. And that's scary. But I'll tell you one thing. The unknown only scares you when you don't trust the one who's steering the boat. And the one steering the boat of your life isn't you. It's God. And He knows these waters. He knows exactly where He's taking you. So you can relax, you can let go of control, you can trust the process. And these cycles that are closing are from different areas. A professional cycle, where you finally leave a job that was draining your soul. A relationship cycle, where you finally break free from someone who wasn't right for you. A behavioral cycle, where you finally break an addiction, a self-destructive habit, a pattern that kept you trapped. A housing cycle, where you finally leave a place that no longer resonates with who you've become. And each of these closures is a symbolic death. A part of you dies so that another can be born. And every death, even the symbolic ones, requires mourning. It requires time to process, to accept, to say goodbye. So don't rush. Don't try to skip this transition phase. Honor it. Live it fully. Cry if you need to cry. Feel longing if longing arises. But don't get stuck in mourning. Don't turn this transition phase into permanent residence. Because after death always comes resurrection. After the end always comes a new beginning. And what's coming is so big, so beautiful, so perfect for you, that it will be worth every tear shed in this closing process. And God is preparing you for this new thing during this transition phase. He is teaching you lessons you will need in the next phase. He is strengthening you to endure the blessings that are coming, because yes, great blessings require strong vessels. He is cleansing your life, removing what no longer serves you, making room for what needs to enter. And you need to cooperate with this process. You need to have the courage to let go of what is leaving, to not try to hold on to what is already over, to not try to resurrect what is already dead. Because when you cling to the past, you prevent the future from arriving. Your hands become so full of the old that they cannot receive the new. So open your hands. Let go. Release. Trust that if something leaves your life, it's because something better is coming to take its place. And while you are in this transition phase, take the opportunity to do a deep cleansing. Physical cleansing, throwing away or donating everything you no longer use, everything that carries old energy. Emotional cleansing. Forgiving those who need to be forgiven. Asking forgiveness where you went wrong. Making peace with your past. Energetic cleansing. Distancing yourself from environments and people that pull your vibration down. Spiritual cleansing. renewing your vows with God, reaffirming your faith, strengthening your connection with the divine. Because you want to enter this new phase clean, light, and free. You want to start this new chapter with the best version of yourself. And God is giving you all the necessary tools to do this cleansing. He is giving you clarity to see what needs to go. He is giving you strength to make difficult decisions. He is giving you support through the right people who appear at the right time. So pay attention to the signs, to the synchronicities, to the coincidences that are not coincidences. Everything is conspiring to move you in the right direction. And this closing of cycles will happen naturally, organically, perfectly. You will look back in a few months and be impressed by how much you have changed, how much you have let go of, how much you have grown. And you'll be grateful for every closure, because each one brought you closer to who you truly are. 13th change. The call to your true life mission. And we've arrived at the final change. The most important of all. God is revealing your true life mission to you. And no, it's not work. It's not a profession. It's not what you do to earn money. Your mission is much greater than that. It's the reason you are here on this planet at this specific moment in history. It's the unique contribution that only you can make. It's the legacy you will leave when you depart. And this revelation doesn't come overnight. It's not a moment of sudden enlightenment where everything becomes clear instantly. It's a process, a gradual unfolding where piece by piece of the puzzle falls into place until you can see the complete picture. And you've been receiving clues for some time now. That persistent desire to do something specific. That indignation at certain injustices. That natural ease in helping in certain situations. Those talents you have that seem to have no practical application. All of these are clues to your mission. And God is putting these clues together now, connecting the dots, showing you the guiding thread that runs through your entire life. And when you see it, when you finally understand, everything makes sense. All past suffering gains meaning. All the skills you've developed find purpose. All the people who have passed through your life reveal their role in preparing you for this moment. And your mission is intimately linked to your pain. Because no one can heal a wound they've never had. No one can guide someone down a path they've never walked. Your mission likely involves helping others overcome exactly what you've overcome. It involves using your scars as credentials. It involves transforming your experience into testimony. And that is powerful. Because when you speak from a place of real experience, of victory achieved, of transformation lived, your words carry a different weight. People feel it's true. They feel that if you succeeded, they can too. And you become a beacon, a bridge, an outstretched hand for those who are a few steps behind you on the path. And your mission doesn't need to be grandiose in the eyes of the world. It doesn't need to make you famous, rich, recognized. It can be something simple, silent, intimate. It can be raising conscious children who will change the world in other ways. It can be being the loving presence in the workplace that makes others feel seen. It could be creating art that touches the hearts of a few, but touches them deeply. Could be anything. What matters isn't the size of the mission, but the authenticity with which you live it. And God is giving you the courage to embrace this mission, because it will demand things from you. It will demand that you step out of your comfort zone. It will demand that you trust even without having all the answers. It will demand that you walk by faith and not by sight. But it will also fill a void within you that nothing else can fill. It will give you a sense of purpose that makes each day worthwhile. It will connect you with something greater than yourself, with something eternal, with something divine. And when you are living your mission, everything changes. Work ceases to be work and becomes service. Tiredness still exists, but it doesn't weigh as heavily because you know you are tired for the right cause. Challenges continue to appear, but you face them with a different determination because you know you can't give up, that there are people counting on you, that your mission is greater than your moments of weakness. And Geminis have special missions in this world, because you were born to communicate, to connect, to be bridges between different worlds, between logic and intuition, between science and spirituality, between people from different groups who would never understand each other without you in the middle. Your flexibility, your ability to see multiple perspectives, your skill in translating complex concepts into simple language, all of this is part of your mission. You are here to facilitate understanding, to promote dialogue, to build bridges where others build walls. So don't underestimate the power of what you do. Don't diminish the importance of your presence in this world. You are needed. Your voice is needed. Your light is needed. And when you finally accept this, when you stop hiding and take your place, God can work through you in miraculous ways. You become a divine instrument, a channel of blessing, a vehicle of transformation. And that, my dear, is the most important change of all. Because when you are aligned with your mission, all other changes make sense. All the pieces fall into place. And you no longer live by accident or on autopilot, but with purpose, with intention, with a clear direction. If this message resonated with your zodiac sign, trust me, it's no coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal. And you're here because you needed to hear this today. Your contribution as a subscriber or member is what keeps these messages alive. Messages that touch, awaken, and transform lives. And if this video made sense to you, leave your birth date in the comments. So Geminis, we've gone through these 13 powerful changes together that God is preparing for your life. And I want you to understand something very important. These changes are not empty promises. They are not just pretty words to make you feel good for a few minutes. They are real movements happening in the spiritual world that will manifest in the physical world at the perfect time. Everything that has been said here is grounded in reality. It has a purpose. It has the divine signature. And now that you know what's coming, now that you've been warned, you have a responsibility. The responsibility to prepare yourself, to cooperate with what God is doing, to not fight against the changes out of fear of the unknown. Because you can be sure of one thing, what is coming is infinitely better than what is going away. God never takes something from you without having something better to put in its place. Never. So if you are experiencing losses now, closures, painful endings, understand that this is just God making space. Clearing the ground, preparing the soil to plant the seeds of a glorious future that He has reserved for you. And you are not alone on this journey. God is with you every step of the way, with every decision, with every moment of doubt, fear, and insecurity. He is there, whispering courage in your ear, holding your hand in the darkest hours, celebrating your victories, even the small ones that no one else sees. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing even when everything around you seems to say otherwise. Because faith isn't about believing when everything is easy. It's about maintaining certainty when everything seems impossible. It's about moving forward when there's no physical evidence that it will work out. It's about obeying the divine call, even when your rational mind screams that you're crazy. And here's a challenge for you. Choose one of these 13 changes and take practical action today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. If the change that touched you most was about communication, write something today. If it was about relationships, have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. If it was about health, schedule that doctor's appointment. If it was about money, research that course, that opportunity. If it was about creativity, start that project. No matter what it is, the important thing is to move from theory to action. Because faith without works is dead. And God needs to see that you are committed, that you are willing to do your part, before He does His part. So move, act, take the first step, and then the second, and then the third. And before you know it, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come, how much you've changed, how incredible the person you've become. And if you've made it this far, if you've stayed with me until the end of this video, it's because this message was for you. It wasn't by chance. It wasn't a coincidence. It was God using this channel, this voice, these words to reach you and remind you of who you really are. To remind you of your worth, your potential, your purpose. So if this message touched you, if it made sense in your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with other Geminis you know. Tag them in the comments. Send the video privately, because they might need to hear exactly this today. They may be lost, discouraged, on the verge of giving up. And your words, your sharing, may be exactly the sign that God will use to rekindle hope in their hearts. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, subscribe now and activate the notification bell, because we are here every day bringing messages like this. Messages that come from the heart. Messages that are channeled from the divine. Messages that have the power to transform lives when they find ears willing to listen and hearts open to receive. And if these messages have touched your heart, if they have made a difference in your life, consider becoming a channel member or contributing in some way. Because it is through these contributions that we are able to continue producing this content. We are able to maintain this sacred space where souls meet, recognize each other, and strengthen each other. Where divine light can shine without obstacles. Where the truth can be told without fear. And everyone who contributes, everyone who supports, is not only helping this channel, but is helping all the people who will be touched by these messages. You are part of a stream of light that is illuminating thousands of lives. And that, my dear, is sacred. It is divine. It is eternal. So I leave you with these words. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you imagine. You are more loved than you feel. And the 13 changes that God is preparing for you are just the beginning. They are just the gateway to a life beyond your wildest dreams. A life where you finally are who you were always meant to be. Where you live your purpose fully. Where you experience peace that surpasses all understanding. Where you know joy that no circumstance can take away. This life is waiting for you. It is within your reach. It is closer than you think. You just need to decide to walk through the door. You just need to have the courage to leave the old behind and embrace the new that God has for you. So go, walk, trust, and witness the miracles that are about to happen in your life. Because they are coming, for sure, with power, with the unmistakable signature of the divine. I believe in you. God believes in you. Now all that's left is for you to believe in yourself. And when you believe, when you truly accept that you are worthy of all these changes, of all these blessings, then you will see what God can do through a surrendered life, an open heart, a willing soul. So be it. And may these 13 changes fully manifest in your life. Amen.